Hey, what's up? I'm Al Cox, and I'm a game designer slash developer. I don't know how to code, but I do. I can read a little bit of code. I did try to teach myself for a while. But yeah, so right now I'm learning Buildbox, and I also work with a developer who's in Russia. Super cool dude. Met him through Upwork, and we just go through this process of I have these ideas, and I create the assets, pretty much everything, and then he'll write the code, and then I can usually go in and like change bits and pieces um, to what I am looking for in the game. So this is my current game. I'm hoping to finish this real soon. It's essentially like the classic Snake game, but it's like I like to think of it as retro revisited or something. Um, yeah, it's got cool colors. These colors are not as cool as they used to be. I think this is a specific palette system, so I'm gonna actually make a note of that. Is this new? Where is this new color scheme from? Where is this color scheme from? It, um, is this that pastel? So I was given a homework assignment essentially to review um, two different versions of which one of the snake, which is smoother and which is faster, or smoother or maybe choppier. Here's the current game right now as it stands. Um, so this is the smooth. This is what we'll be testing later, but this is what we have right now. And then so it's the cool color scheme transitions, and I have them wiggle. Shouldn't be wiggling this often. It should only be doing like maybe one every 2 seconds. But yeah, so you see the cool color transitions. The colors are kind of random. I think there's this pastel scheme, um, and I'm thinking about having it so that the triangles make it go faster, the circles make it go slower, and the rectangles make it go the same. I'll probably just get rid of the triangles and just do faster, slower, is what I'm currently thinking. Um, but yeah, so it's interesting because it's always what I think, and then when I explain it to him in an email, and sometimes I use Trello for like project management, and then there's what I get back, and then there's always the work in between. So that's kind of cool. I mean, it's just like look at this thing is just looking weird. That's not. Yeah. So we're like, if you want, here's the code. Okay, so this is done in Corona SDK, which is a framework that allows you to code in Lua, which is similar to JavaScript. And these things are just blowing up. This is weird. Like, I don't know. Like, oh, it's like over time they get bigger. Yeah. Make a note of that. That's like a bug over time. I call them fruits because it's just the old name that I gave them because I was like the snakes eating the fruits over time. The fruits seem to get bigger. Yeah. So I just make notes. You'll see that there's a lot of these little fruits popping up. I was playing with the idea of having the new snake kind of be like a more survival, right? So like, hold on, let's grab this. So like here, and then it's just like all survival. I don't think I like that idea anymore. I mean, I just have these ideas and I try them out, and then I'm like, no, I don't like that. Um, so I think probably just more classic, but then keep with the idea that I mentioned. Uh, Tough to play and talk. The idea I mentioned where one of the little pixels makes you go faster, and the other one makes you go slower, and then in the end you just try to stay alive as long as possible. So I think actually um, I had it like at 99. So this is where the fruit is being spawned. I'm gonna change it to 5. So there'll be no more than 5. And then, so yeah, like there's comments in here, and then I for the most part, understand. I mean, it just takes longer to read. Like, I mean, this is like 15, what, 2,000 lines in this file, which is the main one. This pretty here, the screen game.lua up here, pretty much houses everything. Here's that continue button. I don't know if you noticed. Um, but what was I looking for? What was I looking for? Oh yeah, the fruits. I wanted to minimize the fruit spawning. So I think there's something called like the max timer. So it's also super important to remember all these things, because if you don't, or if I don't, I'll just ask my developer. Like, he's cool, and if I'm at work during the day, I'm like, hey, how do I do this, or what was the name of this, or ask him if he could go in and comment. Every now and then I'll be like, hey, can you just go in and like leave all these comments, like let's see, like these comments of what does what. Um, so, anyways, I need to change something. I think it's here. And see, yeah, see, and these are like short naming conventions. I don't think this is talking about the head of the snake. This is the refresh color. Yeah. And I'm looking for the timer in which so instead of just having one, I'm going to call it a fruit because that's just what I've been calling it. One fruit up here, and then the snake gets it, and another one up here. I noticed when I was giving my game to people to play, not everybody just instantly knows Snake and knows how to play it, and they'll get very confused on what to do, and like the instructions here, I oh, I started it out so that this is the instructions, and then you kind of see the snake gets the fruit, and then it's supposed to give you an idea of what's supposed to happen, but I've noticed that sometimes people are just, not paying attention. They're just looking up. And so then they'll look here, and then, they'll swipe in a weird way, or like, because the way the mechanics work is you have to swipe. You don't just hold your finger down. It's always interesting. Like, a lot of people just play this game, like, different ways because they don't know, and so what they're doing is essentially right, and what I'm trying to learn is like where they're coming from, and then how I can adapt to make the game more understandable without even like communicating words. So I thought adding additional fruits, well, like maybe just one or two after like a 2-second interval, that the player would see that, and then they'll go, oh, maybe I should grab that, and then they'll like move. And again, the movement. I mean, some people, they picked it up and they get it and they're going. Other people, like, they're literally just trying to touch the actual snake and move it. Is that? Oh, that's the shadow. So yeah, it's cool because people play it in all kinds of ways. I think there's something called, timer was in the name, so I'm just gonna try to search. I'll know it when I see it. Here it is. Okay, so there's the max timer and the actual timer, and the MC dot timer is where it counts down, and the max timer is where it resets. That's what I was told. And look at these wiggles, man. Like, they're out of control. Yeah, fruit timer. I think I don't know where that is. Yeah, they just get bigger. Well, I mean, bugs are everywhere. Okay, so what's my homework assignment? Okay, so this whole game is on a grid. This is it's weird. I've never seen it do this, and I've been playing this game for like 5 months. Not like this, but like iterations. Anyways, I'm gonna just get these because it's getting crazy. Um, okay, yeah. So the snake is on a grid, and what happens is here, I'll get this circle one because the circle will make it go slow. Yeah. So it moves grid by grid by grid, but it looks like the frame rate is broken in. I just don't want that. Like it's a retro game, but I want the snake to be smooth and not move grid by grid. So Slav, the developer dude, found two like the cool thing about the internet is that there's a bunch of equations out there that help find whatever it is you're looking for, and in this case, a smooth grid. So I think this one's going to work the best because I think this is the one that the current system is on, and I don't like you see where it turns at. That's what this one does, and I am not a fan. This one's almost like Slinky wise, like you could see it. Um, Obviously, the mechanics isn't as smooth, isn't as defined as the other one. Um, but I honestly was just gonna launch the game and put it to the App Store because I was like, I'm tired of working on it. But I found this new area of when you're just about finished, or you just want to be finished, but you're not, and you can see that you're not. But yeah, what I'm trying to do now is just make small changes that have big effects, and I think making it smoother, having a little fruit that makes you go faster or slower, just kind of redefines the game. And yeah, so let's see. I left the code in for both of them. You the man. And change options to prototype to true. If the code itself is in screen.game lua. Okay, so this is what we're going here. I think here we have to take prototype to true. Okay, yeah, perfect. Like this is always nice when it's explained. Sometimes it can take me anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour, like looking for something in the code, which is the price you pay. And to be fair, the more you do it, the faster you get at it. I've been doing this, like going into the code and looking over it, maybe, yeah, I guess like a year and a half specifically in making my own games. But before that, I maybe spent like 6 months just like doing tutorials, like coding tutorials specifically on this language and this framework. Okay. Okay, so true. Screen game.new lua. Code itself within screen. Oh, but how do I load this? Like, see, that's I don't know. Rename it to original. Don't want to lose it. And then take this, rename it to. So I'm just renaming it because so this there's a main.lua file, and that's always the first file that is called, and then it just in that file I tell it to call the screen game, which has all the game mechanics and plus other stuff that interconnects. Okay, let's hope this works. Oh shit. Oh, it's yeah, I mean, turn it off. Okay. Oh, and like once it leaves the grid, you just have no more control of it. Yeah, it's something I mentioned before. I just don't like how the edges are. Um, so how do I true to false and then switch between them and also separate the speed? How do I switch between them? Shit. Change prototype to true, and then you smooth true false. Okay. Oh, so I just change this one to false, and it will load the other one. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like this one better, but let's just. I mean, it does kind of lose. All right, so I mean, I kind of want to spend a little bit more time. I just wish the screen was actually bigger and I could see it. But yeah, so like if you, damn it. The biggest thing is when you change, right? Change directions. Here it overloads it with an additional square, whereas in the other one kind of has less of that. So it's interesting if you think about it that these two options that exist are essentially kind of the inverse of each other. One, you'll notice when you go in a different direction, it like leaves a gap area, and the other one doesn't. So I'm just gonna make a note of that. Yeah, I like the sauce more. Because of how the grid handles snake when it changes direction. So yeah, my developer dude is Russian, but he speaks English. I've talked to him a bunch of times, more, you know, via Skype, video chat or whatever chat. Um, And I honestly think sometimes my instructions are like just shit. Like they just make no sense. Like I've gone back and like read what I've said. Like, hey, can we move this object over here? And I was like, what was I writing? And he understood. So I don't know. You ever like read shit you wrote before and then you're like, oh, I made no sense. Okay, I like this plus book more because of how the grid handles the snake when it changes direction. It seems like Australian Kestrel doesn't display the under displays. I'm gonna quote that because it doesn't really see. That's not even good English. It's gonna be difficult to understand. Doesn't always display the square on the grid when the snake is changing direction, where the cowbird seems to always display the square when changing direction, even if it's too much. Okay, cool. So that's good. What else? Since I think that's it, I kind of did want to give you some more stuff to. Wait a minute. How is it loading underscore new? This shouldn't even be. Oh, that's weird. Oh no, because the new name it is changed. I thought it didn't save the changes. Uh, okay, cool. Let's go ahead and rename that back. I think it like that. Underscore new, right? Nope. That's cannot make typos. Okay, cool. Let's load this one back. Yep. Yep. So that's not what I wanted. It's always interesting when what you don't want to happen happens, but I probably have to change this to false. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is the current game. Got good music. And for some reason, these wiggles get bigger. I will not be able to like look into the code and find out why. I mean, no, that's not true. I guess I could try to lurk. Not say what cannot be done. Okay, I'm not even right here. So it gets bigger. When it gets bigger, that's a transition. So, but this is transitioning, causing it to like shake. It's only supposed to be doing it every 2 seconds, but it does it like every second or every like 500 milliseconds or something. So I'm gonna grab this function and see where this function is being called. Is that okay? If fruit timer is less than 0, then fruit timer equals fruit timer max plus 100, which is I think like 100th of a millisecond. So maybe look at it. Why does it get bigger? So yeah, my next step is to just play the game. I can put it on my phone too, which is great because I play it all the time on the subway, and then I just try to figure out what I think would be best to like make the game better. Like it's cool. Like one thing that I like is if you look at the fruit, the inside square is actually going to be the color of what the snake will be, and then the outside square color is what the snake background color will be. I think that's pretty cool. Um, yeah, I gotta figure out this color palette. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna make some more notes, send them over. Oh, and this is a cool continue button. Show some ads. Doesn't work right now because just it's on. This is a simulator. I like the font. I made these buttons. I pretty much made everything um, graphic wise. Cool. All right. Yeah, that was a good sneak peek. I'm hoping to release this game this month. That is the goal. Sooner I can finish this game. Sooner I can get working on another game, and try to learn some build blocks at the same time. All right. Cool. Thanks. Thanks for sticking around.